Hello and welcome back. This is Toni Appelberg-Parks, your CDI educator, back with a new module, Module 14, on detailed analysis and strategic insights, or analyzing and improving CDI performance. The essence of CDI revolves around enhancing the quality and completeness of patient records. It ensures that the health services provided are accurately documented, reported, and billed. This introductory segment will lay the foundation for understanding the broader context of CDI within healthcare operations, emphasizing its critical role in optimizing both clinical outcomes and financial performance. This section delves into the methodologies for assessing CDI effectiveness. We'll discuss the importance of leveraging data analytics to uncover insights into CDI processes, benchmarking against industry standards, and establishing regular review cycles to ensure continuous improvement. Enhancing CDI performance requires a proactive approach, like contacting Innovation Health so we can help you focus on education, technology integration, and collaborative practices. We will outline practical steps for CDI teams to implement improvements, including staff training sessions, adopting advanced CDI technologies, and fostering a culture of collaboration across medical and coding teams. So first, let's talk about POA indicators a little more. POA indicators play a pivotal role in the coding process, influencing both the accuracy of clinical data and the financial outcomes for healthcare providers. This section will explain the concept of POA, its implications for reimbursement, and how accurate documentation can mitigate risks and improve reporting integrity. Present on admission, or POA indicators, are critical elements in clinical documentation that identify whether a condition was present at the time of a patient's admission to a healthcare facility or not. These indicators are used extensively in the coding and billing processes to differentiate between pre-existing conditions and those that develop during the hospital stay. Accurately identifying and documenting POA indicators is crucial for several reasons. Conditions identified as POA or present on admission can significantly influence the DRG or diagnostic related group assignment, affecting your hospital reimbursement. Non-POA conditions may trigger higher DRG assignments due to the additional care required, and potentially impact hospital revenue or practice revenue, hospital in the case of POA, and also influence penalties related to hospital-acquired conditions. Proper use of POA indicators helps in monitoring quality of care and patient safety. It allows healthcare providers and regulatory bodies to track hospital-acquired conditions, which are critical for quality improvement programs and reporting requirements. Compliance with POA reporting requirements is mandatory under various healthcare policies in the U.S. and possibly in your country, and regulations, including those enforced by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS. Accurate documentation ensures compliance and supports statistical data integrity for public health reporting. Understanding and correctly implementing the POA indicators thus plays a pivotal role in healthcare documentation, affecting everything from patient care to regulatory compliance and financial performance. Okay, so let's look at a case study and some examples. Real-life scenarios where CDI strategies have successfully improved documentation and compliance by optimizing the documentation of sepsis. So here's the background. A mid-sized hospital was experiencing a high rate of claims denials related to the diagnosis of sepsis. The denials were often due to insufficient documentation that did not support the sepsis diagnosis according to the third-party payer's audit. This was leading to significant revenue loss and impacted the hospital's quality metrics. The challenge was for CDI specialists noted that while patients were appropriately treated for sepsis, the documentation often lacked specific details that clearly linked the clinical evidence with the diagnosis. This included missing information on the source of infection and specific indicators such as systemic inflammatory response syndrome, SIRS criteria. So what did they do? The CDI team initiated a targeted education program for physicians focusing on the documentation requirements for sepsis. They provided detailed checklists to ensure all necessary components such as vital signs, lab results, and clinical rationale for diagnosing sepsis were documented. They had regular feedback sessions by conducting weekly meetings to review cases and discuss documentation improvements. And they positioned CDI specialists on patient care floors to offer immediate advice during documentation. So how did this work? What happened? Over a 6-month period, the hospital saw a substantial improvement. They had a reduction in denials. Claim denials for sepsis decreased by 40%. They had increased accuracy in documentation. Compliance with sepsis documentation criteria improved by 60 to 90%. And enhanced revenue recovery. The accurate and complete documentation supported appropriate DRG coding, which increased the overall reimbursement for sepsis cases. So, what is the conclusion of all this? What did we learn? The case study highlights the importance of targeted CDI interventions in bringing the gap between clinical care and bridging the gap between clinical care and documentation. By focusing on education and real-time support, the hospital not only improved its financial outcomes, but also enhanced the quality of patient care documentation, contributing to better patient outcomes and compliance with healthcare regulations. So that's that, really. As we conclude, we'll summarize the major takeaways from today's quick little discussion, emphasizing the ongoing journey of CDI improvement. So we discussed the importance of CDI, highlighting the critical role of documentation improvement in healthcare, analyzing CDI performance through data analysis, benchmarking, and audits to evaluate CDI effectiveness. Improving CDI performance, implementing training, technology, and collaboration to enhance documentation. Understanding POA indicators and the significance of these in documentation and the impact on reimbursement. And we went through a case study about sepsis documentation and demonstrated the practical applications of CDI strategies in real-world scenarios. And that pretty much sums it up. So with that, I'd like to thank you again for your valuable time and attention. I'd like to invite you to post any questions or comments, things you'd like to share in the video chat. And you're also welcome to reach out to me personally by email at toni@appelbergconsulting.com. And I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have or find you an answer. And thanks again, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.